Hello Luna folks, welcome and welcome back. This is Gnomes. Where is the stream? Well, anyways, I don't see any update here. Will not this commence? It's looking weird, folks. Connection says it's good, but let's see, maybe it's just some oh, now it's going. So okay, so sorry folks, so we are back here, and today in this new day of streaming, this will be rigging Aisha, this original character I'm doing, my original character one for the main characters of a sci-fi story, but that's an universe that can derive in other fantasy, to magic fantasy, medieval fantasy, whatever, but it comes from 2D character designs, right? And that I've been drawing for more than 10 years, of course inspired by some anime, manga, and other cartoony from all places of the world. Okay, so here we have some model shit, and the geometric model shit, no, this is widgets, will be here. Yes, so will be we don't see very well, of course, because everything is in front. Still not. I need to select the grease pencil. Oh, of course I am on. No, wrong selection. No, this is the right selection. Okay, so this is grease pencil. It's more quite good looking like this, but then we go here and I have plenty of layers here for the organization. It's a bit messy, but it got the job done, right? So basically I was using a template for another character, her sister, which is Dorothy, which so I don't even have the body here. Of course I've made some adjustment because Dorothy, her sister, is a bit taller, but essentially that's it. And the body would be here, and yeah, I've reduced already in here. I sort of rescaled the body, I guess. This took some thought because working on 3D software for this is a bit strange. Even I made a lot of guidelines to try to make the adaptation. Yeah, because this is a lot about adaptation, right? 2D to 3D character design. Like, of course, originally I was intending to make exactly the 2D into 3D perfect, but that is not exactly like that works, because unless the 2D art style is profoundly structured in 3D world reality, it can be stylized but still very 3D well structured. Otherwise, if it is not, it will be very unlikely that we won't have to make special adaptations. Although there are tricks, right, that can sort of fake 2D into 3D, the impossibility of certain character designs. For example, on that movie, the 3D animation, actually 2D 3D animation movie, the Bell Japanese animation of this one. Yeah, this one, right? So they use the technique that now it's starting to become more popular, which is the camera keys, where you can like deform the face of the character, for example, to match according to the camera view, or actually a bit more complicated than that. Not very simple to rig, actually. It's just not trivial. So, but the idea was ingenious. So I have never thought about this, but yeah, it's morphed the face of the character according to the angle that the viewport is looking at it. So it's a relation between the it's a relation between the two elements. So it's not just the position of the camera or the viewport, is also in relation to where is the north, let's say like that, of the face, or the south of the face. And so that will create an angle of rotation that can also be adjusted for bottom and top view and all that. You got the idea. And so if we know this angle, then we use this as a mapper for making Morse, for example, shape keys, corrective shape keys, and then we can model the face in one way and deform the face gradually to reach like a profile that. So this is cheating, but what, it doesn't, who cares, right? That works. But we can alternatively try to not use this trick. It's a good trick, I think. I intend to use it, but I have another approach here, because I've started to make changes to my own character design, exploring the identity of the 2D character design in relation to 3D. And I found that, well, maybe I can create a new 3D style for this, right? And that's a long road. Anyways, let's continue here on the rigging. Of course, this relates to rigging because a lot of problems that will involve eventually problems with the, right? The model implies often things in the rigging. Okay, so folks, here I have Aisha and Ghana today, because I've improved the mesh geometry. Okay, so what happened that suddenly, oh, the lights, they were turned off. All right, so basically I have improved the mesh topology on some regions, as we can see here. Of course, we can compare right now with the texture is messed up, but I'm gonna fix that later. So I've made some geometry here, extra geometry for the face loops, while still remaining low poly. But in this way, I would have slightly better face loops for rigging and for wave painting, and that is sort of interesting. So that work can still be improved in many ways, but let's say that for this character that would be enough. I already had interesting face loops, and here the geometry, I'll show some things of the geometry later, because it needs some smoothing, as sometimes we can find out. Yeah, some faces that sometimes don't get good. I've just spot something a bit triangular here, yeah, because it's a trigon. It will create, not a trigon, it's a diamond quad, and here is this spikes out for while deforming or smoothing. So this is can create some issues in the smoothness. And sometimes this is good, but maybe on that case this is not well positioned. So I don't have a lot of geometry to play with for this. So I need to be careful and make better decisions on that. But anyways, now that I have this improved mesh geometry focusing on rigging, last stream I was mentioning about, I made this face loop because I want the leg to be considered all this. So then when the thigh will rotate upward, like front bending of the leg, then these will be considered as part of the leg. So there are some documentation or tutorials or some videos that will present some ideas about it. Imagery, you can find some of mesh topology, but it's very hard to find. Maybe in the professional field it's more widespread, but in the internet, if you're learning like me on the internet, this is not trivial. So here we are going to wave paint, so make some base wave paint improvements. And yesterday, yeah, so I fixed some skeleton. I imported and assessed her sister's skeleton, and got to reuse some features here instead of making them from scratch, and dumped whichever will not be necessary anymore, fixed the topology, and I've been fixing some dependency cycles that for the new rig that I've implemented I was making in the face. There's a little issue with the new let's say here, where's the armature. So there's a, yeah, those are the new bones, so we don't need that for now. So I was having a, I found that I've created a dependency cycle. I could have expected that, but these new extra bones that I've made here, you see, they have some deforming properties. They deform, well, they deform the forehead slightly, right? And but they are more like, yeah, they are more like secondary bones, because you see how they are carried by, oh, we need some wave paint there thing. Okay, but we'll be doing this. This is for the eyebrow. So there is this ghost mesh of the face that surprisingly was working well for the eyebrow rig. So I can have this very, see, I can make this eyebrow very close to the, with some caveats, but basically I can do this, and the eyebrow mesh doesn't snap, shrink wrap into the eye, which is, it was going crazy, and so now I can get it very close there, and it still have some automations with these eye hole bones, because they are around the eye hole, exactly there. There are bendy bone splines there. Looks like my rig here is not in good conditions, so let's get all these deformed bones layers here, and let's shift M this, add to the deform. And so now I hope that now they would be all here, although this is very bad looking, all these bones in a single layer, but it's an easy access. Okay, so the mistake is that I had, because I had this ghost mesh, this works a bit like the Universal Sonic Mount rig. You see, this double deforms the face ghost mesh and the face itself, the forehead in this case. These bendy bone splines for the forehead, and so it's a mimic. They mimic, right? The ghost mesh mimics it's used as a shrink wrap target for the mesh of the body itself, especially this part of the face here. So what happens is that we cannot shrink, because these are face mesh deformed bones. They or their controllers cannot be shrink wrapped onto the same mesh that is being deformed now, of course, right? So this is why we cannot put targets, shrink wrap bone constraints in these ones. So the problem here is that they can they don't have any controlling limits. We could try to input, but in the cost of freedom, and this is often not good. So provide they are not going too crazy, so we can control them in principle. So my mistake was that I've added to these handle bones, which are, they are bone constrained to some, to the eye hole. As you can see, they are stacking some copy transforms. So this one, for example, gets, I should name those things better. Um, this is okay to have a shrink wrap because this is another setup. This is actually shrink wrap to the eye surface ghost, which is something else. It is just something of the eye, so which is a static mesh. So this one doesn't. So these one are there. However, for these ones, the problem is that if they need to go, this eye surface is more for the eye, so it's not like these have anything to do with the curvature of the eye. This could cause some mistakes, right? So it better. So I would have perhaps another static mesh, like a continuation of the eyes ghost, to like shape the structural geometry of the bone, like so to a place like this bone will never get inside maybe, but those motions are so subtle, you see that is not the deformity it's causing on the forehead is so subtle here that I think it's not important. But you see I can move forward and backwards, and but then we can correct. So those things are very, very complex to make it, like there's no perfection here. It's just there are many ways to achieve a good result, but I can never be cannot extend too much on that because there is no end to this. This is like if you are a painter or an artist drawing, you're never satisfied with the sketch, so this is like this, or with an illustration, the final painting. So this is just like that. You can try to fix this forever. So we need to just have some goal in mind, and my goal is well, is this clean setup? Is this causing good results, good deforms? If are we getting the expressions that we want? So one little thing here that annoys me in terms of the expressions, that these yeah, I see here the eyebrow here, it's a bit too bad in this part, so maybe I can try to make this a bit smaller. Maybe this is yeah, this kind of improved a lot. Alright, the character design. So it was like that before, but I don't know, I've been changing something here. The curves sometimes easily get not very smooth because of the automation of these splines, but otherwise it's working quite well. And okay, and of course we would need some pose assets, but this is for later, folks. So okay, so the same idea for the universal sonic melt rig. If you have some muzzle, would have, but this for it's not rigged. So this kind of muzzle bone, deformed bone, it can be even a control bone. Anyways, it deforms the face, right? The cheekbone here, for example, region, and if we have a ghost mesh on the muzzle, like the universal sonic melt rig indicates, then this kind of bone that deforms the muzzle cannot be shrink wrapped to the muzzle itself, right? Of course, this is different. Then is the tricky part, is that the lips bones for the universal sonic melt rig, they deform the mouth or the lips, even a bit of the mouth region, but they can be shrink wrapped to the ghost muzzle. So this is looks like contradictory. Well, yes, it looks like contradictory, but what happens is that those same lips bones, deformed bones, they do not deform actually the muzzle region of the ghost muzzle. They deform only the lips, so they don't touch the ghost mesh, including the ghost mesh there is like, it's not static, it's dynamic. It deforms just as I have the forehead here, but it will how to say, it doesn't touch the lips, so the lips are sort of independent. So in order, this is a different case. So I must treat those bones, control and deform bones, just as they are this kind of cheekbone for the universal sonic boundary. So I cannot shrink wrap them to the mesh they are deforming. Yeah, so I cannot treat them like the lips bones. And this is a different case because here these are shrink wrapped to a static mesh, and here in the universal sonic mouth rig there's no static mesh, but it can be done like an accessory ghost mesh for preventing perhaps the shrink wrapping, no, to prevent, for example, the posing of this bone to a certain static threshold that we don't want to be like moving the mesh. So this is where we can come in handy some. But in principle, the freedom is kind of cool, and it's not necessary. So here it's necessary because it's a different case. Yeah, so this eye ghost is here, there, and this is the face ghost, which also has an eyes ghost duplicate, but it's for another functionality. Really? Oh yes, really, because exactly, the target, it's a single target, right? So we cannot say I want these bones to follow precisely this target here. So this is why I cannot mix them into the same, otherwise this bone will start to follow this mesh, and because these eye holes deform this mesh here of the near the top lid crease, bottom lid crease, then this will cause the same dependency cycle that was there. So because the ghost mesh here deforms, yeah, so that will go, and these bones carry deform stuff of this of some area here, but that should be sufficient to cause issues. Anyways, enough explanation, folks. Let's go to something creative now. Let's see what we can do here. So first there is these warnings. Let's show how to solve all these misery. Those are more seem to have appeared suddenly. These are from some rig that I've imported, probably. I think it's our driver stuff. So it's kind of simple. So let's use a let's fix this, and let's make a quick highlight. So folks, I have these terrible dependency cycles that are not eradicated. They are just warning for some drivers on bones apparently, and apparently this bone depth two torso, I think one, this is for an older rig, I think, when I joined the armature. Now it is alarming me that. So invalid driver. So basically I've deleted a bone with a driver, something like that, and I didn't delete the driver. So how to fix that? Well, we just gotta create a new bone layer here. Doesn't matter here, we're gonna delete, and I put the cursor here, Shift A, let's add a new bone, and I'm called this bone exactly as the, well, okay, I need to be looking at this toggle system console, right? System console, so Control F1, I think this is the default shortcut. Then now it is there. Let's bring it. Yeah, so I can leave this on top, or I think not. Oh yeah, exactly. So I think I can do it. So hold on, folks. This is a use the wrong short there. Okay, so here this will make it easier, so we're gonna do this. There's apparently, so I just pick this dev torso because this bone doesn't exist anymore, right? Otherwise it would have named this 0.001. So this bone apparently has b-bone curves out, so this is not even a bone constraint, this is a b-bone thing, b-bone property. So this bone has, well, need to be on pose mode, right? There we go. This is an old mech feature that I've yeah, so that, oh, that's it, because I deleted that old armature that I was going to reuse, and then so just delete driver, delete driver, delete driver, delete all those drivers, and so this will be dissolved. Actually all this I think will be dissolved, but then we need to do this for neck BB. Then we have is the same, well, okay, I don't know why this is appearing many times. So, okay, let's Control F1 here. I'm gonna save, I'm gonna close, because this is an annoying thing about this. Okay, so I'm not able to close Blender for some. Alright, so it seems to be crashing. Something crazy is happening, folks. Okay, let's close this. I hope I won't lose the progress. Alright. Okay, so Control F1. Okay, you see, they took off, all of them. So that's how we fix it, folks. One of the cases, you need to recreate the bone. And so now we can just go in edit mode and delete that and delete that. So never delete bones that have drivers. Unfortunately, Blender to this day doesn't fix that. I think that's the same for objects and all sorts of stuff. So even, it's not only bone constraints, it can also be the bone property. So you just need to sometimes try to identify which property was that. And this is not so hard, because usually we remember what we have messed on the file, right, on the project. So highlight done, folks. Now, let's go back to the projects here. So wave painting, right? Base wave painting. So I need here some, yeah, I'll have all my deformed bones here. We're gonna do this, really, this will be like a revision. Should have some way to controlling these just in case. Yeah, should be good practice to yeah, and also we should have some sort of protection, right? So gonna mask here. Well, we could make another, yeah. So here, just some masking tip, folks. So very simple. If you're gonna make a readjustment of the wave painting of all your character, you don't want to have rogue waves in your mesh, like, oh, you accidentally, you right. For example, I am painting here, but then you for some crazy reason, you have some thing on projected. I don't know, you name it. A lot of things can happen. So we're gonna make this, yeah, take your time to make good masking. So for example, I will work on the feet, so, and then up. So I'll start with the foot, X-ray, let's select this, so Shift H, let's snap, Shift H, right? Hide unselected. Then we go on mixed wave paint pose mode, right? Where we can pick the bones, and here we go. So all this is masked properly. And not only that, I can, if I'm not satisfied with that, of course, sorry, forgot, of course this is not sufficient. Here's my deformed bones, folks, but we need to, this is a simple mask, right? But if I want to use the selection mask even more, for example, I don't want this part, maybe Control plus here, or yeah, let's pick this and Control plus on the numpad, and then I want this selection, let's invert that, Control I, and then we go back on wave paint mode, mixed pose wave paint mode, and here when I select, yeah, first select the bones, for example, I want to wave paint this one, then I use this, because I'm working with faces and not with vertices. Usually the vertex selection, no, the paint mask would be better, and I've made this shortcut O and P, so that is relatively easy to access. So here this is masked, so I can totally terrorize this mesh. And so it won't affect only the extremities, right? And also beware, because the operators like smooth, it bypasses any masking. So this is something they should improve, I guess, in Blender. Anyways, that is the case. And so if I want to change the bone, be aware, if I click the bone here with the mask on, then it will instead try to remake my mask, right? To use the C to do that, and the Control plus, but then I ruin my selection. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, okay? Then we just, instead we take off the mask, disable, right? And pick the bone, then remake the mask, and there we go. So every time, it's an annoying workflow, but it's much better than nothing. So just make sure you get a good shortcut there, and that's it, folks. So here we need to assess the deforms here, and well, it's not too bad, right? I can, for some deformed bones, I'll be able to deform manually, and other not. So since this one I can, there's no need to not use this instead, just to gain time. So I think it will be nice if I can just smooth this out. Smoothing usually will be nice, and since I'm making some improvements, right, so let's just make sure we get the maximum roll wave, that thing. Yeah, let's just make sure we got good waves here to start with. We could have toes here. Yeah, it would be nice to have toes in this character, why not? But this will be improvement of the I think we can blur this more. So apparently the toes are deforming a bit too much, right? This is what it looks like to me. So let's reduce this. This only, oh yeah, smear doesn't have waves, it just have strain. So here I'm changing the wave for another brush maybe, provided I'm using this individuation, use unified wave, this universalizing, and this is this of disable is the for individual, and it works for whichever that was there. So here I don't use those too much, but they are actually very useful for texture painting, even more than wave painting. And for grease pencil, I think grease pencil have that. Yeah, there are some things we can do with grease pencil too. So here let's just use some string on the smear 4, shift space bar 4. So I don't want to, so I'll push these waves there. And then after I'm gonna smooth. So here in the bottom, so it start to be bad, right? So we need on the joint some, indeed. So gonna smooth out these joints. And here this is still bad. Yeah, so this is much better when the same bone that we are wave painting, it can be posed. So there's many problems with that, and they should make a system for that. For someone need to make a request, because this is like there is, I think even someone already requested. So basically when we need to disable all the bone constraint, but you can't do this on wave paint mode. You need to go on pose mode, and it's useless. If you select the armature, you get the rest position. It should also disable all the bone constraint, but the drives, but it also disable all the transforms. So you cannot wave paint. You can wave paint, but you cannot pose. So this is a disaster for any person. So there should be some sort of intermediate system which is just for wave paint position, something like that, right? Or they just find a better way to pose the character for the bones, right? So this is annoying. We'll have to, unfortunately, so this is the reasons why rigging is so fearsome is the word. It is like, maybe here we want less waves, not sure. So you see that I have a problem that the foot toes, they are not responding very. I think I'm just missing, in this case looks like that I'm missing some geometry, right folks? If I added just a little more geometry for these joints, maybe I could make better deforms here. And this was I was trying to do this some time before. What is this? This will cause some weird thing, right? So let's try to just get these ones. Shift T 0.3. Actually, we can also just try to smooth this. So you see they inherited the... Here it would be nice to have some masking for working on that, but let's see. I'm just blurring this intuitively. Maybe that will... So this is some sort of wave paint layering and there is a reason to believe that this should improve the deforms. Oh, I see. So it's not so much there. It seems to have, yeah. So it's more like that I'm missing some face loop, like right after the fingers. Oops, this is very, yeah. So because of this, right? So I don't want all this face loop going all around, so what I'm going to do is, first, let's hide the armature for a moment. So this was probably not super useful, let's dissolve that. So it's more like here that something would be useful, and the problem is this thing, so I think I have a solution for that. I totally need a shortcut for this. Control Shift E. Does it do anything? No. So let's do this. Okay. Control Shift E. Yeah, that will be good. All right. So this is enough. I'm gonna merge here at center. Now we have a diamond quad here, which can be a little problematic, but I don't know. Well, why do I need this, right? Can I just join here and make this more regular, or bring it here, or make some sort of face loops around? Yes. But most likely, yeah, like could have some special. I see what I'm lacking here, right? It's like if I had a little better geometry here, maybe I could get some, like, maybe if I have something like that, we can play a little with. So here I already have enough waves for the I have more right. Yeah, so if I wanted this, maybe could fake some. I never done this. I usually had something a little better, more realistic, but this seems to be plausible, right? Let's see. For stylized, maybe this is too sharp and badly positioned. Shift E. Oh, there's still this and this. Shift E 0.3. Okay, so you see, I don't need this now to make all this. Maybe it'll still be good in the end, right? So yeah, just to have this. So I made something on the bottom, so in the end, yeah, it's like we need to have something, like for the hand, we need to have some bulge here, like we have here. So this is not a terrible idea for a stylized anatomy. So I think there is a, it's not a, let's say there it seems to be for what I'm looking for. Maybe this is advantageous. So I would have to investigate a little more the anatomy of these, of the foot toes for the stylized character, but in 3D, right? And in low poly. I know how to draw a foot, right? But to model a foot without reference like I'm doing here, this is, I think, this is somewhat confusing. And here we would have to connect this. So there is, yeah, so this is going there, but if I connect, if I try to join this here, it's like, it will look like not very accurate solution. So this is will be more like, more regular, right? Yeah, so this will be a little more regular. So here we can try to smooth this. So let's see. These shapes are not that good, right? So let's try to make them more adequate. And this actually, so it's all the footballs, right? The ball of the foot. So basically this is something, yeah, so here this is why 2 would be better, because here we just don't have enough geometry to plan this very well, but it's feasible, right? It's just not ideal, but maybe we can obtain some adequate result at least. Anyway, so here I'm gonna try to smooth this, and this, try to smooth this. So here maybe yeah, the foot got a little deformed. But this I can revise in the later on in some character design fixing. Let's go back to the armature. Sakigaki, welcome back. How are you doing? Hello there, rigging again, aren't you? Yes, we are. Today it is improved base wave paint. So I'm starting up and down. I'm just having here the deform rig, right? The bones and the deform rig layer, all of them should be here. And so it's not so many bones, because there's also helper bones, right? Well, yes, but they are not too many right now. There are some. Yeah, so I'm because I've changed the geometry and the topology of some features, like for better rigging in the future. So I've changed the topology of the shoulders, of the collarbone here, as you can see. Well, you can see there is some something different. I'm stating it is different. So I've made those changes to improve the face loops, which will improve rigging also. So I've augmented the geometry a little more, just for getting this. It was too low poly for my style, and I was paying the price in terms of those face loops, which were very weird, awkward, and this would be very nice for low poly, but my style wouldn't look good, I think. I just had to make a little more, and also there is the problem with rigging, so I wanted to have good face loops for rigging. So but now the geometries and topology is mostly as I think would be okay. So still super low poly, not ultra low poly, just enough geometry just to have good loops, but no more than that. And right before that, my approach to the super low poly thing was, okay, get the shapes good. Get just enough geometry to get the shapes organic enough for my style. But I was forgetting that face loops are also important. For example, for what I've been calling the wave paint layering, with face loops that follow the tendency of wave painting, we have a better chance of having better deforms. Yeah. So the wave paint is depends a lot on the geometry. Not like it depends on the geometry and the mesh topology. The mesh topology should help the geometry to get the face loops for the where we want regarding this wave paint layering strategy. So this is a concept that I talked a lot in the beginning of the last stream yesterday. I was showing examples on YouTube, even from Royal Skies with some recent video he posted, and so I was working on that idea. I just bought some course about rigging. Oh, that's very nice. Which course was that? And I will be using your Google Docs guide link for me for the first reference in rigging. Oh, that's nice. Thanks for pointing out. I'm improving. So every day I post something new. There's like it's like something to be growing on the process. I have a lot of documentations online. Like documentation, I call those tips curatedly clips, right, of YouTube videos usually. Oh, the fit, try doing L. Oh, welcome Dumuzi, how are you doing? So an L, do you mean in the back part of the foot or the upper part? Or like here or something else? Or maybe the foot toes? Can you explain a little more in more details what you mean, please? So here, yeah, so this geometry is low poly, so let's see. Yeah, so anyways, did you bought the course from maybe it's from how is that famous guy, the Pierrick, maybe? I have many friends that have bought his course. I haven't, but yeah, I have some ideas from what he does. He does a lot of things for games, right? His rigs are, at least from what I've seen, right? Back part where you were making the subdivision, the other message to delete. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, here, right? An L thing, the back part, like from below. Can you, if you can post a link maybe of an image? So here there is this shape here. Let's see what you can do. Yeah, maybe this is too high. Let's use X-ray here. The sole, yeah, the lower part. All right. So this is the left foot, so the L would be... Oh yes, you mean here maybe. Right there. Like this, or maybe like this. or like this. Let's check my own foot. Yeah, yeah, I see. I think you mean exactly like here, right? Something like this, right? So you have the L here, right? So to have that kind of geometry, bought it from CG Cookie on Blender Market. Oh, that I didn't know. Of course, on rigging from him. Yeah, I think this he had something about mesh topology. I think the first things I've learned from rigging was from this guy. I think CG Cookie. Some tutorials on YouTube about mesh topology for shoulder and a lot of stuff. I love that. I love it because without some restriction, DRM stream, it's formatted zip file. I don't know what is DRM stream. Send image on Discord. Thanks. Let's check that. Where is the double L shape? So you have something like yes, so I had this subdivision before, but it was a triangle. It connected there, right? So get here. All right, so that will help create this and maintain these faces there. Okay, that will like help creating the space here, but shouldn't that be more like here? Anyways, let's try that. So basically that will be because of this joint right there. Yeah, this should be no, but this is centralized, so it's more like a thing for reorganizing the mesh when it becomes from here, right? So it is an extra subdivision, so that will go here, and that oh yes, because we have this, of course. I hadn't even reached that problem. Indeed, there was this end gun there and the other side, so yes, this can be good idea. So thanks, that advanced some of the problems that were gonna be existing here. So we can also perhaps make this or into a diamond quad. Maybe the diamond quad shouldn't be there, but here near close to the joint will be dangerous. Yeah, this could be if it is very small, it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, it's like it will be probably flat. Let's try to, yeah, it will flatten this thing. So maybe if it's very small, it won't be. Yeah, let's do something like that. So when it's smooth, is just do that. So all right, let's keep that. All right, so this might be okay. Then we have here to continue. Yeah, we are testing the wave painting for that, and let's pick something here. Now yeah, now we have a few more face loops to I don't need this layer here, so it's very good to wave paint when we can deform the same bone that is now probably I don't need this because we have a lot more. Let's make some tests here, quick tests, and see what we can achieve right away from. Okay, with this more geometry, indeed, we can have a lot of improvements here, more realistic toes, right? The deforms are very bad, but this is normal. This is the can be probably improved with, but this is the 90 degrees rotation. So let's make some fan bones here. That will be simple setup. And here, yeah, more wave painting here maybe. Just smoothing out. But for some deforms here, this is already working well. This is still better than what I had in sense of that the toes here are more not appealing, they just are more yeah, maybe I add some, let's see, also there is the shared waves on the foot part, so I need to also address that. Yeah, so here maybe, yeah, this I think will be likely to work for the deform. This is what I want. I wanted really the toes to be able to bend that much, so it need to be some, let's pick here, and oh yeah, now I have more geometry, right? So we don't need this stuff here. We're gonna redo this. That was just topology alone without the anatomy in mind. Yes, I see. Yes, this is sometimes this is good approach, and because this is still low poly, right? So it is the kind of stuff that often it's the you do a lot of low poly, right? The music, so I think so. You know those. It's sometimes the trying to following up the all the patterns of anatomy is just is not good idea for the characters. Like there are some artists that will try to make the mesh topology follow the muscles, right? Of all the muscles, the main muscles fibers of the character, and sometimes this is terrible for rigging. It will be much better to have something more straight things, and then you just fix the. It's a different approach, right? But here the choices I think are much more difficult because we just don't have freedom from the geometry. We don't have enough geometry to, so whichever geometry, low amount of geometry we use, it must do something that is limited, right, by exactly that, the amount of geometry. So here probably we want this also low waves. Here is still the joint. Here maybe we expand here and to, I should be testing, right? Let's see. Oh, but this is not the toe bone, so yeah. Yeah, this is already, this is much better. And of course it will still be causing the terrible. Yeah, I should need some animation here, right? So some keyframing just for this. Here I suspect we need more waves here, right? So let's use the let's make a quick tip here. Folks, here a quick tip on wave painting. So you see I have these toe bones and here the foot bone. You see I would like to have more waves here so that the toes bone don't carry this mesh so much. I could take off waves here, but I don't want to touch this. I want instead to augment here. But if I use the add here with the wave value, it's a bit annoying. So instead what I'm gonna do is something more precise. I'm gonna use the brush tool but on mix, and so the mix, when I use the mix, I can use a very fixed value. So let's say Shift X here. I want to see this amount here, so Shift X here on this vertex. So you see about 0.4 wave. So this is where with the mix I'll paint all this row here, this edge loop with this value, and then maybe I keep painting all this with this value because I want to expand this anyways. Yeah, that might be good. That we just expand this, Control F. So let's augment here. And so you see, if I were using the add, I will just end up, even if my waves is here, whichever, it will be very hard. So here we want very precise. So, and this is where mix option on brush tool shines. And so here, even if I like something value here, maybe this I want something like less, maybe about here, so you can maybe finish off this with this value. So I'll make all this range on this here, this stuff, and so you have very easy. Oh, you see here there's mistake, so just pick Shift X some wave here and then transfer to basically brush. And then of course it will be nice to have the, let's test here. It's not perfect. I'm not gonna make a helper bone here to solve this, but there are many ways to. So here is just, after I've done that, we could just finish off by maybe blurring these waves here too, because maybe I want a little more waves here. I'm not sure. So blurring, maybe too strong strength here for blurring. So I think this will be an improvement. Let's see here. So anyways, I've got, it's not perfect, but we're gonna, at least I've shown you how that workflow works. Alright, so now the wave painting of these, I can make the toe bones. Yeah, let's make the differentiation here. So how to do that? I never made this kind of toes rig, so basically just remember some bird toe. So I think I just need to, should I maintain this as a whole? Yeah, the idea will be to distinct between them. So so like this bone will be, yeah, I see what I need to do. Okay, so I need to go on edit mode. I'm already here, so Shift D, move to the side, and then I'm gonna go normal, scale this. So I'll make this toe here, and the toes, they have a joint, right? So two joints, right? At least in this part. So I'm gonna get this, rename this to how do you call this in English? Thumb of the toe. hallux, big toe, great toe, thumb toe. Big toe is like oh fine, so big toe. Big foot toe, yeah, so big toe left and 001, and then I'm gonna subdivide, and this will be big toe left 00, and it is already, well, the subdivision didn't work. All right, so are they deformed? Yes, they are, but they don't have any wave painting. That is basically a warframe fit. Warframe. Wire or warframe? I don't know what you mean. Warframe. Maybe a creature. Oh, weapon system uses by the origin warframes. Oh, some creature like that, right? So of course, I'm doing the foot. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, alien foot. But actually, she would have foot toes, just 4 toes, right? Just for the hand, right? But I'm simplifying here because she's wearing shoes, right? So it's just for a matter of simplification here. Yeah, but in principle, so I've never read foot toes entirely in details, right? So so here I'm gonna yeah, so keep offset. So this will be turned into a sort of a mechanism bone, and so I'm gonna change this into here, and I'm going to duplicate Shift D. Well, what's happening to the oh, these ones, I hate that. Okay, so this is terrible. This needs to be improved. So copy here, change to right, copy here, F2, and paste here. Looks like they have more bones here. No, there are just these 2. All right, so now, well, yeah, now I need that. All right, so now they are symmetric. All right, this is parented connected, I hope. Yes, they seem to be. Yeah, they are. Then let's pick both, Shift D, and place this about here. Yeah, I will place this like, yeah, let's align here with that. I want to see the, I need later even some control. So apparently the joint, this, let's move this at the more to the top. Yeah, for now let's leave it like that. So this one I will consider, should I place it? Yeah, let's start it. It will be the first one, so we're gonna fix that later. I'm just gonna align this. This one can be like this, so we're gonna align here with this, and this we're gonna move up, something like that. And here let's make them just a little, not straight, but maybe I'll regret this. Yeah, maybe, because there'll be some control rig thing. Well, those details, the control rig I'll fix later. So this is what we need. I'm just gonna rename this to, so control F2 B, then find and replace. So toes, yeah, big toe to toes, and also strip characters, digits, punctuation, and at the end, and that should be it. But then we lose those zero. Oh, that's correct. All right. Okay, so that's fixed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pick these waves here of this bone, which is still a deformed bone, but it doesn't matter right now. I will bring this name here, deaf toes, gonna yeah, let's make another quick tip here. So folks, here I have foot toe, this one, that is moving all the, hold on, which is moving all the toes at once because they are paired. But I've just created these ones, keep offset, and these are connected. But these have no waves yet, the toes one, because this had all the weights, as you see. So what I'm doing now is that I'm gonna bring this vertex group from this bone, which is gonna be just a mechanism bone. Gonna also change here, find and replace here to, yeah, bones, def to mechanism. And now I'm gonna pick, I want this bone here to inherit. I have a mirror modifier, so just the left side matters for me, the original side. I'm going to go pick here F2, def toes left 001. Then I'm going to the mesh and going for the object data or data properties instead. Gonna look for here these little triangles. Let's search for, actually no, let's keep this in my secret space there. Then mechanism toes left, yeah, this is the, so I'm gonna just change this vertex group name, Control V here, and so here now these bones control all, actually just this and this one because of the mirror, no, this one because of the mirror mode. Okay, so for mirror modifier here is just, let's select it, click outside, there we go. So now they both are working, and I have to make more differentiation here, of course, but these at least these are now true mechanism bones, so they don't have deform property anymore, and they don't have wave painting anymore because I've transferred, right? But even for this one it was automated. However, I think their names might still be there, so let's just fix this. Mechanism toes, yeah, so we have still this one showing here as a vertex group, so this is wrong. Let's just delete, and that's clean. So now I would like to transfer more waves of this to the other. So this will be another problem. I can certainly duplicate here. One way to do this will be to use some duplicates, right? So I'll just use the left side. So I need to duplicate 3 times, one for each bone. So I'm gonna go here. I need to clean this out, otherwise you'll do like me that thought that my rig was disrupted because there are no vertex groups, but actually it was just the search. I've reported that or made a request to fix. Maybe they will do some time. So here the foot toes here, right folks? So for the left side, so duplicate vertex group, duplicate vertex group, and duplicate vertex group. Because of the mirror modifier, they are looking like that, all of 3, but it's no problem because all I want is to have this. I'm just gonna copy paste this here. So actually this is the, oh yes, I cannot pick the name of the bone, must be on pose mode, so let's do here. So this is a bit tricky, but we will get it done. So let's start with this one. The right side I'll fix later. Pose mode for this one, and then it's just a different number, so that's fine. So Control V here, Control V, and here. And so as for creating the other side wave paint, so just gotta make sure we go here. So this one, click outside, maybe it blur it safer, but just click outside, and that, and this one also not there, this one not there. So now all the 4 have, so all the 8 bones have the same wave. So now to complete this, I'm gonna use some mask. I already have some mask, right? So let's start with the thumb. So I'm just gonna expand, no, because I want to maintain this hiding stuff as it is. So I'm just gonna make some selection here, like from here, right? Expand, maybe take not this one, and for, so these are faces. I'm gonna get all these faces here, and then here there are some doubts what we do here. Maybe this is safe, exactly, yeah. So and then we try to do this, and yeah, so this we can fix later. So this is my mask, so I'm gonna invert that. Then we go back here, mixed wave, pose wave paint mode, then select the bone here, then I use the O shortcut for the mask here. So what I'm gonna do is that I invert here, and right mouse button click, let's set wave to 0, and Control X, and there we go. And then we do the same O, so I'm taking off the paint mask, select the bone. Oh, I start with that, okay. So then do the same here. Of course this will be need to be improved, but I'm just setting the basics here. Okay, so this for the thumb, let's say that let's fix for these ones now. So I'm go back on pose mode, let's edit mode, and invert this. We see that is not good. So what I want here is just to okay, so we want this, and then we want to select all the rest here. There are many ways to do this, and so let's just make sure that we have the equivalent there. So this face, if I remember well, I don't want it. Then the middle just for its side, this is fine, and this, I think we make this loop around here just to simplify, right? And that will be for these 2 bones. Then again, wave paint mode, select it, mask, Control I to invert the mask, actually this, and set wave 0, then Control X, then take off the mask, Alt left mouse button click to select the other bone, mask, Control X, and so take off the mask. And so here we got the differentiation. So now need to do the same process to differentiate the toes there, the phalanx, I think. But you see that solved the most of the problem. So now I have those toes differentiate. So we just need to improve now the waves there. You see that will need a lot of more work, but this is quite mechanic way to to get things right as a starter. All right, folks, let's continue here. So we've made this differentiation, and hello novamente. What você do ajustando de pintura de influência or outros things? Então, welcome, Kazin. So here we are doing rigging and base mesh rigging, but I'm sticking with the foot for a long time because this has a lot of things that I'm making a lot of highlights also in little details that might be interesting for a lot of folks there. This is good for my channel too. I've been doing lives 2 days already without any highlights, so good to, whenever there's something good to show, then need to be patient enough to focus on that. So anyways, so here I'm waiting and creating some extra bones for the toes, right? This differentiation, yeah, I should probably try to finish this job, right? So let's do the foot toes here. So for example, this one, yeah, Kazins, why did you I'm not gonna translate that. So here this one, all right, Control I, Control X, and now for this one, Control I, no, O, Control I. Yeah, we're gonna take this off for now, just to make sure. Then do the same here. Control I. What's happening? Okay, apparently sorry folks, something went crazy here. My Blender just got completely nuts. Oh, it's the mouse wheel. Okay, folks, you see, it's something about the mouse wheel. Never happened anything like that. Apparently my mouse got completely crazy. I'll disconnect the mouse. No, this is not the mouse, folks. This is a Blender bug. Wow, I've never seen anything like that. So this is insane. All right, folks. So or it could be my keyboard, but I think the keyboard doesn't have a mouse wheel. Okay, so I'm afraid I have to yeah, so I'm afraid maybe it's the keyboard. Hold on, folks. No, it's not the keyboard. It's Blender, folks. Blender got crazy. So I have to disconnect here, folks. Sorry, we're gonna address this later. I'll be back.